Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I actually understand what you were saying. Like I said, this was just building up to the climax of exactly what that scene was talking about. We had not gone to the climax of exactly what we're talking about. Thank you very much. Actually, it actually was a very, very good observation.
Unfortunately, when you apply for a job interview, they'll be like, unfortunately, it is with deep regrets. But this is for joy because Akure Book Club. This is part of, yes, and I don't know if Peter mentioned earlier that Abatile Mobade's University Library is a solid partner of the hey, please, I don't know what's wrong with me today. I'm very sorry, of the Akure Book Club. Did he mention that? So it means that if you are a writer, an artist, a publisher under the Akure Book Club, you have an entitlement to the library as we have our special shelves, which means your work will be displayed on the library. You get full support from the library, especially in terms of publicity in the Akure region. And we also have other partners in Lagos that were not able to make it for the event, and our international audience will be joining briefly. So thank you so much, Emmanuel. If there's time, we'll give you the space to, reach the climax and, even reach the incident line. I think we must taught us that part today.
All
So
right.
thank you so
Thank you
much.
very much for your time.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. All right. So Futa Debate Club is here with us today. Are you people not happy? Are you people not happy? Can't you? It's time to perspire to Maguire to aspire. So we have Futa Debate Club. They are one of our founders. Sorry, our partners rather. I think after this segment, I need to go and drink water because yeah, I'm going through a lot. It's very obvious. So Futa Debate Club is one of our partners, and they are here today to debate on something very controversial. And I'm just going to give them the space to do their thing, and we engage. So I don't know. This is the part where I say, as you listen, may you be blessed. So can we have Futa Debate Club, please?
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon, everyone. Yeah, so we are members of the Futa Debate Club. My name is Ugu Ebube Livinus Martins Oscar, and I'm the moderator for this segment. Sorry, my name is Ugu Ebube Livinus Martins Oscar, and I'm the moderator for this segment. Yeah, so my colleagues here are the people who are actually here to convince you against your preconceived notions, which you would find out soon enough. And with me here, first on my list is Babatope Oluwatomisin. Um, Second on my list is Emmanuel Adebayo. Then third on my list, Olanrewaju Heritage. And the fourth person is Oluwasusi Tomisin. Yeah. So thank you very much. Moving quick. So what we want to discuss is a topic that many of us have faced from maybe secondary school. It says, should Nigeria promote indigenous languages over English in education and governance? So before you can give a categorical yes or no, we have a poll, a ballot that we can use to cast your own opinion, a yes or no ballot. The link should be displayed right away. I don't know. So just use the QR code to answer a yes or no question. Please kindly engage while that is going on. So do you think Nigeria should promote indigenous language over English in education and governance? We will show the results of the collective decision very soon. Okay, so while you guys are answering, we're diving straight into the debate. We have two houses. We have the affirmative and the opposing houses. On the affirmative house, we have Oluwasusi Tomisin and Olarewaju Heritage, while on the opposing house, we have Babatope Oluwatomisin and Emmanuel Adebayo. So without further delay, help me welcome the first speaker for the affirmative house, Oluwasusi Tomisin. Thank you.
Good day, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Tomisin Oluwasusi, and I'm speaking in support of the motion that Nigeria should promote indigenous language over English in education and governance. So, firstly, how did English become our official language in Nigeria? Travel back in time to the days when we were still governed by the British colonial system. That was when a few of us get to become educated, get to go to secondary schools that we were being taught by white men who are maybe English teacher, physics teacher, and just a few of us, probably the prince of a particular community, or probably the son of a well-to-do man, or probably the daughter of a well-to-do trader. Those are the people that are selected then have the privilege to get educated, and they are trained by white missionaries because that's what exists then. We don't have as much as we do now in schooling and in education. So then if you are if you are doing well and you are doing fine in your educational academics, you are doing well and you are doing fine in academics, you get to travel out of the country to study in the British universities like Oxford and Cambridge. And then after that, we came and then we began to fight for our independence. We began to see a reason why we can govern ourselves. We don't have to depend on them. But over time, with the influence of the British system, what has prevailed over time is that we have the British who wanted to communicate with us, who wanted to control us, who wanted to get their instructions to us, to communicate to us with their language. And over time, we have been forced to use that language, and which is the English language. Independence has come and gone. We have fought civil wars. We have seen years of governance that are indigenous ourselves. But what has been the status quo today has been that the only thing that has prevailed over time has been the English language and the English language alone. So what is the menace on ground? The menace on ground is that we have brilliant minds that are not necessarily fluent in English, that are not necessarily like good in English, but the society has now come to judge intelligence based on English, based on your ability to speak English, based on your ability to communicate in a foreign language that you don't necessarily think in. You don't necessarily have that as your natural language that you think in. So what happened over time is that there have been many talent that has been drawn back. There are many scientists, many science, many students that have been mitigated against because of their inability to speak fluently a language that is not supposedly to be theirs. And we have had people that have been celebrated for not even getting to for not speaking their indigenous language, but speaking the foreign language. And over time, what we have seen is that our country as one nation has been separated into two. There's a world of those that can speak English very well, and there's a world of those that probably can speak English but not really believe in it, and they are pushing for indigenous language. And the status quo is that we are promoting those that are speaking English, and we are mitigating against those that are promoting our indigenous language. But over time, we have realized this mistake because two reasons. Number one is that we realize that our culture is mitigated against. And number two is that there have been agitations threatening our unity as one. So what do I mean by our culture has been mitigated against? We have realized that we don't get to know more about our culture anymore than has already been presented to us. So I have a friend in my department, and his name is Makule Layefa. So when we became closer, I get to like ask him question. I got to like ask him the state he comes from, and he said Ondo State. And I was wondering how a boy named Layefa will come from Ondo State. And I'm an indigenous of Ondo State myself. So when we got closer over time, I got to ask him about more about his origin, and he told me that he's from the Ijaw community. So I can come from Ondo State, and it will be okay. 1 minute. So, okay, I can come from Ondo State, live my life in Ondo State, do my schooling in Ondo State, and after many years living in this state, I did not even realize that the Ijaw are also part of us. So this is mitigation against our culture, and we are not probably not being aware of our diversity anymore. So this it is a major factor that is stressing our unity as one. Back in the days when we just gained independence, we used to have unity in diversities. We used to have the Western and the Northerners and the Easterners govern themselves and bringing out the best of themselves. The military rule like make this to like go into extinction, and we are forced to go back into one again. So this is the question before us. Do we promote indigenous language whereby we get to like become a recognize our culture and become familiar with it again, or do we stick with English language where we do have the present threats against our unity and against our culture and against our identity? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Tomisin. He took us down memory lane, how English actually became a staple in the country. But then he said it was first established as a source of communication between the whites and us. And the result of it has been cultural subjugation, where our culture does not really matter, and we tend to adopt processes from the West. So that is his major point of argument. To counter him is a lady. So please welcome me, Babatope Oluwatomisin, as she wants to tell us why her namesake is wrong.
Good day, everyone. My name is Babatope Oluwatomisin, and I'm from Futa Debate Club. So, to reiterate what General said earlier, you can easily vote. If you are not getting the barcode scanned, you can just type menti.com. That's menti.com and cast your votes. The code is on the screen. So, that established, I'll proceed with my speech. So the motion before us is, should Nigeria promote indigenous languages over English in education and governance? The first thing I would like to clarify is that this motion is not asking that should we teach our children our indigenous languages at home. It's not asking us that should we educate our children at home through with our indigenous languages. It is asking that should indigenous languages be promoted over English? And I'm here today to tell you and show you why English should still be maintained and indigenous languages should not be promoted over English. So the first thing I would like to show us is identity here. In every country, in every tribe, the major thing to everyone is their identity. We want to promote our identity. Heritage is snapping his fingers. Maybe he feels like he already have a point, but I'll prove him wrong now. Now, we have an identity. Nigeria is a country that has over 500, about 500 languages and over 250 tribes. So the major question we should ask ourselves, in as much as we want to be patriotic citizens, we want to promote our culture, we want to promote our identity, we should ask ourselves, so if we are going to be promoting indigenous languages, which of the languages are you picking? Does that mean we are promoting 500 languages as our means of communication in education and governance? Let me tell you something. If we are going to go by that, that means that the unity that is in our national anthem that we are seeking to have, what will never happen in this life or the next one to come. Because if we maybe the issue is taken to the House of Assembly, and then they pass a vote or they pass a bill, and for example, the Yoruba language is accepted as the indigenous language to be used in education and governance. You as an Igbo lady, you as an Hausa man, what would you say? Okay, let's even leave these tribes that are one of the major tribes in Nigeria. Let's talk about someone from Tiv, for example, people that already see themselves as a minority. It will just bring about them feeling what's it called now? They'll feel relegated. They'll feel like they don't just matter in everything. Governance, they are not mattering. Sports, their names are not being heard. Okay, now you even need an indigenous language to hold on to, and they are not even picking them. The issue Tomisin Shedra came to place about how that, yes, some people are not bearing their names and all those things. It will get worse because now we see one tribe as the best here. Now, also another point I would like to bring out is communication. Communication is not dependent on the words you speak alone. Communication is not dependent on the knowledge you have. Communication is majorly dependent on if the person you're speaking to or the group of people you are addressing, if they can get you. If I come here and I start speaking in tongues to prove my point in today's debate, nobody will get me, except maybe people that has the spirit of interpretation. So, guys, if we are or agreeing that Nigeria should promote indigenous languages over English, that means, first of all, we want to create our own word, which I'll tell you, Nigeria of today does not even have the capacity to stand alone yet due to a lot of reasons. So that means I finished my secondary school in Ogun State and I was taught in Yoruba. Every was in Yoruba. That means I'm not even having English language as part of my courses first. Then I want to pick a tertiary institution to go to. Then I pick Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria. And when I get there, because we are promoting indigenous languages and we don't want to cause diversity, they teach everything in Hausa language. Do you know when I get there, I'm as good as a 1-year-old child that just wants to start learning? Because everything I know, I've known it in a different language. Everything I say is in a different language. So when I get there and you're teaching me in something entirely different, I can't learn. Now, the relationship we have with other countries, as at now, where I can finish studying in Futa and I can go to the United Kingdoms to study, will not happen because when I live here and I get there, everything is strange. I don't understand. Even if I understand English, I don't understand a lot of things because my orientation have changed, the way I reason have changed, things I learn have changed. And I know that Heritage will still come to tell you how that, yeah, you can prioritize indigenous languages in just education and governance and still have English in other spheres of life. It will also come to tell you how that English was gotten because we were colonized. I'll tell you that the fact that I'm speaking English here today does not mean there are chains on my hands and on my legs, right? That means even though colonization is bad, we were colonized and all those things, we understand that there's something called evolution. We've evolved past that stage. And at this point now, my time is up. Okay, to just round up my case and show you what the major thing I've come here to say. I've come here to tell you that even though there is a good in prioritizing our indigenous languages, think deep within your heart and ask the question, is there a greater good in having English as the major language in education and governance? I leave the answer to you. Thank you.
That was a wonderful rendition by Tomisin. So quick heads up to the audience. If you feel Tomisin lady has beaten Tomisin guy and your mind has changed, you can go back to the poll and express your thoughts. So that's the purpose of the poll here. So moving on, I'm moving to the second affirmative speaker on Larewaju Heritage. Help me welcome him.
All right. My name is Olanrewaju Heritage. All right. Okay. So I'll be beginning my speech in 3, 2, and 1. All right. So share. Tomisin comes here to tell you to just right. The first thing Tomisin tells you is that see, our identity is at stake. And then the best way we can protect our identity is by throwing our own languages out the window and taking up the language of the white man to express ourselves to the world. You see how that is counterintuitive, right? Then the second thing she comes to tell you is that, see, if everybody begins to speak their own indigenous languages, then they are no longer able to communicate. See how when the United Nations come together, every country sends their leader to represent them in their own indigenous language. And then there are systems that are put in place to ensure that there is effective communication between these leaders, right? You see that Tomisin is here standing against innovation and change. You see, she just has a status quo bias, right? You see, by the time people begin to understand that certain changes are going to be bringing radical actions, then they begin to stay away from these changes, regardless of all the benefits they can rake from it. What she wants you to do is to remain in those same shackles she thinks doesn't exist in her hands, but exists in her minds. And that is what we are fighting against in today's debate. And that is why you should vote indigenous language. My partner comes here and tells you two major things, right? I really do not think she got that. She comes here and then she tells you that there are a lot of intelligence people that exist in today in the status quo, right? But then naturally, they are not admitted or they are not even respected or they are not even seen in the Nigerian academic sector. Why? Because subconsciously, our metric or our yardstick for gaining if someone is intelligent is based on their articulacy in English language, right? Their ability to understand English and also speak things in English language. You see why she's faulty, right? Because there are dozens of Nobel Prize winners that cannot even speak English language, right? They use their own indigenous language to express all whatever views is it they have, be it philosophical or scientific or mathematical, right? And then they are being respected, they are being regarded on the global scale. So far, this already exists in the status quo. Then Tomisi is problematic, and then she comes and tells you that tells you that then what happens if we begin to push one particular language to be the indigenous language? And that is ridiculous. The reason is because we have a lot of countries that exist in the world in status quo that have more than one official language. South Africa has 5 official languages. There are countries that exist in Africa that have 4 official languages, that have 5 official languages. Even in certain countries outside Africa and currently in Africa, there are certain countries that use hand signs as an official language. That means you can be a president and the only language with which you can communicate is your hand sign. And if those countries are doing fine, then I do not see the reason why we will choose to be lazy like Tomison's team and not push for the change we want in the status quo. Panel, this is what we are telling you. If what you really care about is our identity and what you care about is the expression of yourself, there is something you need to understand about culture. You see, culture is not just a tradition in and of itself, but culture also includes every language and tool with which these traditions are being propagated. So it is impossible for you to say you are protecting Yoruba culture when Yoruba language no longer exists. It is ridiculous, right? You see a student that passes Yoruba in WAEC but fails English, and then that student is denied entrance into the institution. What they are telling you is that language does not make any sense. You can discard it and throw it into the dustbin. What we want you to be able to say, to do, or to speak is the white man's language and the white man's attributes. And that in and of itself is problematic. That is what we are pushing again. And again, that is why you need to vote. It's equal now. And again, that is why you need to vote indigenous. All right, so how many minutes do I have left? 1 minute. All right, to wrap up my speech, here are the things I told you. I told you we cannot have problem with communications because there are technologies that exist in the status quo that ensure that people with different communications can coexist and interact effectively with one another. A country has the ability to have multiple official languages, so it is possible English still exists, but then we just begin to push the indigenous ones that are already going down the drain. And that's exactly what we are saying in today's debate. So if General thinks, or if Tomisin thinks that our culture should go down the drain, a Yoruba man should no longer be able to identify as a Yoruba man with his language. A Hausa man should no longer be identified as an Hausa man with his language. An Igbo man should be thrown down the drain. A Tifi man should no longer exist. All these languages like Ibio, they should systematically disappear because they are being forgotten in the status quo. Then I think their side is problematic and you should vote for indigenous languages. Thank you very much.
That was another wonderful rendition by Heritage. It has shown how multiple indigenous language can exist in an official system, how indigenous language have been used to express science and technology. To round up for the opposing house, kindly help me welcome Emmanuel Adebayo, aka General.
Thank you very much. Okay, so just as Heritage has said, the name of the site is menti.com. In case you have not voted, menti.com. You can pick up your phones now. And this is the code 43895488. You can go and vote. I believe at the end of my speech, you would have sufficient reason to show why English in itself is what you should vote. So I begin my speech in 3, 2, 1. So ladies and gentlemen, please do not be bullshitted by whatever Heritage said. So the bulk of what he said was, number one, I don't have content, but then I know how to beautify my speech. Like I have the rhetoric, and that's what Heritage did for the whole of his 4 minutes. Panel, there was nothing substantive in what Heritage said. And I'm going to show you that on 3 different levels. The first thing, he talked about how, indigenous languages is something that really identifies individuals. Panel, I am here supporting English language, and I still identify as a Yoruba man. In fact, I am well dressed as a proper Yoruba man. Panel, language is not the only thing that identifies individuals to their culture. Panel, but even though like we agree with them that language is the thing that stands out, I'm going to show you on the origin of language why it is something that you should not buy. The first thing to say on that, language in itself is very, very, very derivative. What we call Yoruba language now, what we call Igbo language, what we call Hausa language, like comes from like years and years of cultural exchanges and influence. Panel, to the extent where in the ages past, there was even nothing like Yoruba language. There was even nothing like English language. There was nothing like Igbo language. But you know that over time, people change, people come together, cultures change. This is why you now have languages in itself. So the whole identity that they are trying to prove to you is something that was never existent a priori. Understand? If I can prove that, that is something that totally takes out their case from today's debate. But beyond that, why should we even choose like English language over like the other indigenous language? Now, one piece of characterization that they failed to tell us was how this thing would even work. And it is very, very impractical. For example, shaka shaka shuku shuku shu. Do we understand that? It's a particular language in Zulu, but we don't because we cannot communicate, we cannot relate. Panel, understand how that is something that you cannot even buy. Communication in their world is something that does not even flow. See, why do we have English language even standing over other languages? There are two reasons. There are two reasons for that. The first reason is that English language in itself has a long history. And English language is derivative from languages like the Romance languages, like Latin in itself. So it has a long-standing history. And panel, it is not something that is unique to Nigeria. Not just Nigeria, countries in Asia, countries in Latin America, countries in Australia also adopt English as their lingua franca. Why? Because the whole world is tending towards one culture, towards globalization. Understand how it talks to us about identity. I can show you that identity is something that's even tending towards a consensus on the global level. So how do we now necessarily communicate on the global level when we cannot even adopt one mechanism of communication? This is what we show you in our world with English language. And understand, it is not like I even expected them to say things about colonialism and all that, and how this is like the identity crisis that we now have. But understand that it is not unique to Nigeria in itself. But then, the second thing to talk about is on the impracticality of it. So they say, yes, we should adopt it in governance. So Buhari should come and start speaking Igbo to me, or you start speaking Fufude to me, and I would naturally bypass. But understand how it is very, very impractical when we now say we now want to adopt like the indigenous language as the mainstay of our country in itself, on two reasons. The first thing is that when you now want to implement it, you are going to face significant pushback. And that's what Tominsin told you about minorities. So as a thief man, my language is not represented. We only have 3 languages that are represented: Igbo, Hausa, and Yoruba. Where is Fufude? Where is Steve? Where are those people? They are not represented. Should we now say we should just adopt those and jettison all those? Panel, democratically, we should even protect the interests of the minorities. But this is what we are now throwing away in their own world. But then, the second thing to say on practicality is how necessarily do we even adopt this as a mainstay? Panel, the second thing to say on this is that when English in itself, or the fact that we have textbooks in themselves that are written in English language, this is a very, very important point. Please, everybody, let's note this. The fact that we have decades and eons of history in itself written in English language, the fact that we have a whole lot of cultures that have been like translated in English language. Panel, knowledge passed down from like the days of Augustine and all those guys down to now, been written in this language and has been translated to this language. That means that we now have a consensus. And the second thing is that English in itself is relatively like easier to learn to this other compared to these other languages. And I'll show you why principally. The first is that basically English has, okay, so I'll teach you that later at the club. So everything I've said is to show you how their own identity, the whole talk of identity, is something that you should not buy. But secondly, English, we are even speaking English to you. They even spoke English to you. That's the only way they could get their points across. That is why you should vote English. Yeah.
Thank you very much, General. That was a heated back and forth between both parties. At the next side of this segment, it's going to be something very short. I want to believe we have questions on the bench. For instance, Heritage must have annoyed somebody when he was talking. This is your chance to fire him and hit back at him. So if you have any question or reporters from the audience, thank you very much.
Hello, everyone. So, in terms of indigenous language, right? What if we go about pidgin English, like we just round everything up? You know what I mean?
So, can I answer? Pidgin English is still a derivative of English, right? It is still a derivative, exactly, of English. So if we are saying we should even adopt English, Pidgin English, it's because we are still tending towards English language in itself. Praise God.
What General tells you is ridiculous. You see, yes, there is a large barrier of entry that exists. That means more and more people exist that cannot speak English language. So there now becomes a need to begin to break down that complex language for people to speak. And that is why we have Pidgin. So you cannot come and tell us that Pidgin is a derivative of English language when it was problematic in the first place. So.
Who has another question? We'll take two more. Thank you, sir.
Well, I'm enjoying the talk. I really am impressed with the debate. But I want to say that you are saying we should promote other indigenous languages. How many languages can you speak? And you can speak fluently. If I speak outside to you, do you understand? Ya ne me sunanka kai daga wani anguwa ne? Ka gaya mun gudun the capital.
Right. So the response to that. No. The response
Yes, I just spoke outside to you, but you can understand me because until I interpret it. So I just want to ask you that question: how many languages? So I can speak them to you to know whether you can promote the indigenous language. Thank you.
All right. I can speak two, right? I can speak English and I can speak Yoruba. But I cannot even speak the Yoruba very well because we live in a country where English is being shoved down our throats. And the reason why I won't even be able to speak Hausa back to you is because there's no one that speaks it to me in the first place. So I believe if we begin to promote our indigenous language, we begin to see intelligent people that can speak 3 languages. And I think that is what we should push for in the Nigeria we live in currently.
So, if I may, to his point also, Yorubani Omodele lale elolokan shasun oko ni. Is there a choice? When the language has been forced down our throat, the exact point he's making and the exact reason why I'm speaking your English to you right now is because the point he made has been forced down my throat. That's all I was giving. You can't ask a slave why he's not free. That's a ridiculous question. Why don't I know other languages? That is why I'm speaking right now, that I should be given the chance to speak in the language of mine. So it's not a question of, are you speaking the language now? The dream is to go into it. How many of it was he taught to? I was beaten in school for speaking the very Yoruba I told you and Adejin right now. If it's forced out of me, then you can't blame me for not being able to speak it. That's why he's speaking to the system now that can change it, that other people who are coming up would be able to speak in those other languages and not be stuck on English.
Thank you. Well, I really understand, but I want to tell you that he that is forced cannot be free, and he that is free cannot be forced. You must first think as a free man. English is what you learned by choice, the same way you learn every other language by choice. But I believe you preferred English more because that was what was universal for you to accept. I'll give it to you. Then I want you to look at it. When you are born, many of you, your parents speak to you in English. Come, instead of Mabo. But I grew up in the north. The northerners probably speak more of their languages. But because I'm Yoruba and I stayed in the north over 40-something years, I had to learn the language because for me to communicate with them, I needed to learn their language. Today I can speak Igbo because I understand Igbo because I also stayed in Akure land. Now, so that's why I said if you are a free man, you learn to move freely and not just stay, but also imbibe the culture. English is also a culture. English is not a language forced on you. English is what you use for communication. So you inherited English as part of your growing up. Don't see it like you are a slave. You are not. I don't want you to take it. That's why I said, he that is forced can never be free. And he that is free cannot what? Be forced. So please, while we are promoting other indigenous language, I would like us to intentionally learn it for ourselves. That will help us to grow. And then whoever learns more is the one who wins. Just like we're doing a debate now. I think we have a competition of languages at bay now. If you are going to Canada, you have to do IELTS or you do the English language. If you are going to Germany, you have to learn their languages. Why? Because it has become a universal language. And Nigeria, which is our country, has adopted English language as our lingua franca. And this is to foster unity and to cut down on traditional sentiments. I think that is the reason why English language should be sustained as our dominant language so that we all have unity in diversity. Thank you very much. I support Tomisi.
Thank you, sir. So we are already at the end of this section. To announce the winner, to clarify, the winner is not what you see on the board. So before we started, there was already some predetermined votes. We had 4 in favor of indigenous, then 3 in favor of English. But at the end, we had 15 in favor of indigenous and 15 in favor of English. So that means we are taking the net score. So the net score for indigenous is 11, while the net score for English is 12. So that makes the opposing side the winners. Thank you. Thanks for having us.
I don't want to know what people want to say, but I'm going to speak my English. I'm not doing your school. Anyways, I hope we're enjoying ourselves, yeah? You see that my tongue is no more twisting. I ate and I drank and my eyes are open. But anyways, first off, can the noise calm down a bit? I know adrenaline is coming, but let's keep it down. So we have one of our audience who is not around. Her name is Victoria. She's a Nigerian author based in the UK. So she has a few things to say. She sent in a video. She sent in a video and she just like to pass across some messages. Yeah, so her name is Victoria. I just need us to like pay attention to the projector and I'll be back in 6 minutes to do the do. Are we full? There's more coming. Tell your neighbor, don't be tired. Tell your neighbor not to be tired. So, like we passed in our memo, it's a feast of books and culture. So it is a full day event and will not keep you here hungry. So just, relax, chill, stress, and everything. All right. Thank you. Technical difficulties. Yes. So we didn't do our open discussions. During every Akure book club meeting, we do 3 things. Open discussions, which is the segment where everybody airs their opinion. And then the second thing we do is the book review, and we have poetry presentation and everything. So I'm going to ask a question. Can I get the second mic, please? Yes, I'm going to ask a question, and I would love that 1 to 2 persons give me their opinion, and we ponder on these things. So the first question is, why do you think, are we together? Are we together? I'm not reading hook. I'm not going to say it second time. Actually, I'll say it second time. I love you guys. So, why do you think ethnical wars, like Gidigbo, ethnical wars last? Why do they last? And why do they dictate the reality of Nigeria? I don't want to be, because we're having full video coverage, I don't want to give realistic examples, but how many of us are on X? We have to be on X. Well, sure, they said Akure people are very different breeds, but it's not everybody, some people be inside their cave and all of that stuff they be doing. It's not racist. I mean, I don't do social media. So yes. So if you're an ex, you'd have seen the one tribe against another tribe. Why this should go, why that should go. So why is this happening? And why do you think it is whether you agree or not, this is dictating the future of Nigeria? So who's going first? As usual. If you've seen our YouTube video, you will get used to me saying who's going first. Oh, my darling, I love you so much, baby. Come on. Give it to us.
Thank you. All right. So first to go, I'm going to make like the most based points on this, and everyone else can hear opinions. But the reasons why any war occurs and any war lasts is because someone is earning off it. Simply put, someone is earning off it. Someone was earning off when they invaded. Someone was earning off when someone else went to another person's house. The only reason why wars start and they stay is someone is earning off it. Someone online is farming engagements from the facts that people are fighting. That's why it's still going on. Someone is having money and deals in their pockets because something in Afghanistan is shooting something in somewhere else. That's why it's still going on. Israel, okay, I'm not about to start before nobody comes from you, but wars are there because someone is earning from it. Whatever else it is that whatever else that it is that is causing the fight physically is what they instigate. From the background, somebody is getting paid from it, and that's just why.
Why do you think the war last? Why do they think?
Basically, I feel like the reason why ethical wars is something that would go on and on for centuries is because by nature, humans are known to be competitive. Besides humans, any animal, you see two dogs when they see each other and they are not used to being around each other, they start to fight. If you see two chickens, they just brought this one from Cameroon, they brought one from Ethiopia, they start to fight. So it's the same thing with humans. Aside that, there is something called ego. Like one person always wants to feel superior to the other person. Humans are known to be competitive. I want to look prettier than this person. I want to be seen as stronger than the next person. And aside that, there is something like selfish interests. Sometimes you might feel like, why does this person have this much? And I don't have much, and I feel like I can fight for it. So just like in the olden days, they said the order of the fish is the order of the day. Big fish swallow small fish. Once you feel like you can fight for it, you can get it, why not? And that is how it goes on and on. The Yorubas feel like, what are the Igbos feeling like? Well, is it because you are fair? You are not as fine as I am. I'm black skinned. I'm this. The Igbos feel like, what are you? You look too, you are a nigger, you are this. And so on and so forth, different reasons. And once the fight comes on, you see that even what started the fight get lost in the fight because another reason will come up. Maybe what started the fight was a lady. It moves on to you killed my entire family. I have to kill yours. It moves on and on and on, and that is how it goes. So ethical wars, basically, I would just pin it down to humans being competitive by nature, and aside that, humans being humans wanting to feel better, wanting to feel bigger than one another. That's all. Thank you very much.
Okay, so some of our international audience are joining in, and we want them fully captured. Just welcome. He's the founder of Golden Child Promotions Publishing, and Cindy Breck. Welcome, Cindy. Can you hear me? Can you guys signify?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, yeah. Quado muted. Welcome, Quado.
Welcome.
And Cindy.
Hello.
Hello. All right. So now the next and final question is, we are all creatives here. Whether why am I echoing? Agreeing that it can be ended. Who's going first? All right.
Well, I think not like I think. I believe everything that was created, can always have an end. I heard somewhere a woman say that information was passed from one culture to the next, and then to the next, and by the time he got to the third generation, it was no longer. So, in the same light, if we're supposed to turn things around, if we start off with our own imaginative, like creation, like what I do in my book, when I'm facing physical challenges, like in real life with my startup, I use my imagination and fiction, to break that barrier in my book. And I find that when I write that down, I just feel some kind of relief, like in as much as I haven't really beat the exact battle that I'm facing physically with building the startup, but for the fact that I have mentally surpassed it, I kind of feel some type of relief. And I find that if we're able to collectively do that, they say you have to psych yourself first. You have to be like, you have to be delusional first. So if we're kind of like able to collectively disillusion ourselves and say, you know what, we're going to battle this Sakwa together, yeah, and we work towards it, I change the narrative and become as positive as we probably want to. Yeah.
With respect to the question that was asked, I have two opinions. Firstly, is it cannot be ended. Secondly, is it can be ended. And I would support both my opinions with points. Firstly, is while I was in school, there was a question thrown at us, and it was that can global peace ever be achieved? And that is something like, if you look at it on different angles, you will see why I have two opinions on this. Firstly, is when I talked about ethical wars, I said humans have the urge to want to feel superior. Humans have the urge of competition, and accept that, and aside that, humans and ego, competition. Those two things are going to lead to wars now and often. So, but the only way creatives, we as youths, can battle ethical wars, global wars, any kind of war, is by working on the mentality of everybody. Once everybody, both the black people, the red people, the fair people, the white people, whatever. You call a white man a white man. A white man looks at you and call you a black man. That's finished. War will continue to go on. But except that color is removed, except that idea of is a Yoruba person is removed, except that idea of is an Englishman is removed. Man is man, woman is woman. That is the only way any war or every war can be ended. Thank you very much.
So we'll come back to open discussions. Are we ready? Okay, so let's hear Victoria out for 6 minutes.
Thank you so much, and Victoria. The next author is launching is Tia the author. I'm not sure if she's there. Yeah. So
Good, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Shimiluri Daria Tushi, and I'm a final year student of FUTA. And I want to tell you guys about my debut novel that will be launching next week, Saturday. By the way, you guys are invited to the launch. It's going to be happening at FUTA Alumni Building. If you have time, you can come and join me. So, a little bit backstory is that I've been writing since I was little. Like, I mean, since I was really, really little. And my dad saw this a long time, but we are teenagers and we like to be very headstrong. So when I entered SS1, he wanted me to go to art class. But I was wondering, everybody wants Ajen to go to science class. Why are you all bent on me going to art class? There was nothing special in science class, by the way, but I refused. I went to science class. SS2, it was still go to art class. He's an English lecturer, by the way. SS3, I can still teach you this subject if you're interested in going to art class. I said, no, daddy, I'm going to science class. And back then, ignorance, I did not know there was a career per se in writing. We only knew there were careers in law, medicine, pharmacy. Even back then, nothing was not as pronounced as it was right now. So I finished. And because I was 15, I had to wait 1 year extra. And that was the year I found out that there was a huge writing. Before then, I had read, I think, almost all the books Chimamanda Ngozi that she has written. So I was a big fan of her. Wale Soyinka's book, I'd read every single one he had written because my dad loves him too. So we went to his library. And that was when I started writing online, started putting my books. At first, I only wrote books set in countries, not in Nigeria, because I didn't know there was a Nigerian community. I felt like to write Nigerian books, you have to be as big as, people like Wale Soyinka, Chinua Achebe, and people like that. And then 2019, my friends just encouraged me because secondary school, I used to write Nigerian books. Everybody will read it. Oh, it's good, nice, things like that. My friends told me, Shimri, put this book on Wattpad. If nobody will read it, we'll read it. It took me a while. November 2019, I uploaded my first Nigerian story on Wattpad. And it took me 5 months to get 500 reads. Oh my God. It was on New Year. I'll never forget. December 31. I had 500 reads. I'm about going to do testimony because I was so excited about it. I was so excited. And it's been 4 years, not 4 years, or 5 years since. And I don't want to be humble, but in the Nigerian Wattpad community, I can say that I'm a big person. Now, yes, I can say that. If you go to Wattpad, just search for the official Shemilori. People do people do know me. So now I want to introduce my debut novel to you. It's titled Ace and Football. I know the title is cliche. You are wondering what's Ace Football? It's about two teenagers that are in secondary school and are trying to find their path. I mean, when I was finally in secondary school, I just wanted to be a medical doctor because everybody wanted to be medical doctors. I did not have an exact thing that I wanted to do. So the female protagonist, she's a straight A student. Keep her strict in our egg and echo and a jump. And the guy, football captain, Dollard, doesn't know. As a new what team, if you don't pass a jump and your egg, nothing for you. You can't attend anyway. And his only savior is our female protagonist, who is the only person capable of reviving his academic grief. Yeah, so they bond together and she basically to get back on his feet. The story talks about friendship. My throughout my life, female friendships has been something that's been so important to me. There are people that have held my hands to the of my life, and this book talks about three friends, three of them, how they navigate their final year in secondary school, One of them who comes from a family that they are from arts, our entire family, our grandmother, our parents, they are artists. So everybody is expected to be artist, but she wants to be a medical doctor. So for 3 years, she took home fake results, tell me to be in that class, science class, and her parents found out. Now imagine how that's going to be for her. For the last person, Farida does not know what she wants to be. So she's scared, she's anxious. Everybody knows what they want to be. I don't know what I want to be. And that is something I experienced when I was growing up too. Everybody wanted to be something. But I'll just, no, we have to go with the trend, follow everybody so that I can pretend that you know what you are doing. But Farida starts to feel insecure, starts to withdraw because her friend is a superstar, doesn't know what she wants to do. And she's just a 17-year-old that doesn't know what to do. So my book talked about the fact that you can be 30, you don't know what you want to do, and you are absolutely fine. You are fine. It's funny, I know, it's funny, but you are fine. So there's a part that's in that book that if you pre-order the book, it tells you that people will always find their path in life. You will always do it. Whether you find it early, whether you find it late, it will not make what you are going to be lesser. It will not make what you are going to be maybe more. It talks. I think one thing I also forgot on the part is that parents comparison. You see, when I was growing up, I'm the first child, by the way. My dad and my parents never compared me to anyone. But see my younger sisters. My dad had a friend. He's very smart, a genius. Because tell me how you get the promotion from primary 4 to primary 6 and still taking first. Like the rest of them in the class. Are you people serious? You said they don't do primary 5. So my dad would come home and he would I did not know the girl. If I saw her outside, I don't know her. But all of my younger ones, I just hated her. Like, what is your problem? And it just affects what it does to the children. Because they start to hate each other. Because why am I always being compared to you? What's special about you? And it's not worse if the parents compare the siblings together. Because in the female protagonist's story, our elder sister is just amazing. So our life goal is to be better than our elder sister in every way. So that's our goal. To be better than her sister in every way. That's our goal. Until, of course, she meets the main protagonist and she's trying to find apart outside collecting her parents' validation. Validation, sorry. So the story of Islam football is a story of friendship. It's the story of so my dad used to say something that nobody is too young to dream. Nobody. You can dream, you can see your life is in your hands. It's as simple as that. Your parents gave birth to you, of course, any part you want to do, they'll follow you, they'll help you. But your life is in your hands. What you want to do, you are not capable of making it happen. So unless you choose, unless you say, okay, this is what I want to do. So that's basically it. I was supposed to do a live reading, but I don't have a lot of time. So once again, I want to invite you guys to my book launch at alumni building there next week, Saturday, December 7th by 11:30. And in case you want to pre-order the book, you can pre-order the paperback or digital copy. Please you can reach out to me or reach out to her. So yes, that's all. Yes, no. Yeah, that's all. Thank you very much for having me. Any questions? A's and football, like I have 70 A's and football. Yes. Yes, exactly, sir. Any more questions? Yeah. Yeah. Okay, yeah, okay.
So mine is not a question, it's more of a resonance. Like I can strongly relate, particularly where you said, how that sometimes it's very difficult for us to find our path. This is something I say very often. I say that, eventually we're all going to be interesting characters. Eventually, it might take some of us a while, like to find out, but eventually we would be interesting characters. Growing up in secondary school, I had to change career 3 times from petroleum engineering to veterinary medicine, and I finally studied statistics. And now I don't think statistics is for me. I just basically followed the trend. I've observed that I am more of a people person. I would rather thrive in human resource or programs or project management. And well, yeah. So yeah, it is resonance, and I strongly look forward to the book launch. And thank you very much.
the book. Thank you. Please just take a seat. Not, I'll probably get the book through. Clause on it. The earlier you discover yourself, the better. Find yourself at 70, it will be too late. In our own uniqueness. It is on 3 and is about to change. There's to be popular now because of you. Popular become get to influence people or how I might not even become popular now. You might find out that what you write now may be for leave to be yourself. You will find out looking for another sense of see myself living for 20 be relevant popular path. They wanted me to be successful. Thank you. So if we understand what our own personal success is, we will go through all the others. You might go through school, and then when you discover yourself later, you will find out that all those time were waste. Why do I say that? Every moment you spend outside fulfilling who you are is actually a discount to your account. That's what I say. If you spend time doing what you are not supposed to be, you are actually losing discount. You are spending money and throwing it away. It's like you're lavishing time. So I believe we should spend more time. If it take you 10 years to do what you are before you become to it. I'll read what you doing now. And read
because yeah. I think definitely there's someone said something and it made a lot of sense. It said the what and the why are two different things. I think a lot of people discover what they want to do, they don't discover why they want to do it. That's why they can't really define the parameters for which they are defining success is not really set. So I want to write. Why do I want to write? If you can discover why you want to write, you will be able to get there's this satisfaction you would get when you write, and that satisfaction can be a parameter for success. I don't know if I pronounced that right. Yeah, those I'll be speaking English, but so that's just what I want to say. Know why you're doing something. If you know it, you've done 50%. The rest is just to do it well and continue. Thank you.
Feast for a reason. If it were Lagos, Akure Book Festival took 4 days, yeah. It took 4 days, 4 days. But we've chosen to do a day. And people are already tired. Ha, okay. Well, it will encourage us for the next one. We'll just make it like 2 hours and no, we just come and go. But quickly, before we have Cindy and Marty launch their works, this is from have you while they are sorting the video, this is from Onidamola. Where is Joshua? Joshua Fatoke. Some people collected this book last week to review for me, or 3 days back. Are they here? Jerosimi is here. Ini. Okay, I'll go and get the rest of them. So we are going to shoot a brief content. Please let me pass it there. Pass it to your neighbor. Pass it to your neighbor. Now that's the funny thing. Not everybody's going to get the book, Sha. They sent only 40. 40. Which one will the host hold now? Which one will the host hold first? Okay, so are we good? Draw to me. Can we all raise our book and let's have what we are going to say is thank you, Damola. We love your book. Are you ready? You don't worry. It's not Nigeria. Actually, it's a very good read. Joshua, I was looking for Joshua. Joshua has read the book. He's going to give us a review. Joshua has read the book. I'm trying to look for Ini, and I've not seen him around. For those that have the book, please let's wave it and don't worry. Just calm down. Are we ready? 1, 2, go. Thank you, Oyin Damola. We love your book. You don't have to say so boring. Come on, let's hype it up. 1, 2, go. Thank you, Oyin Damola. We love your book. Thank you so much. All right, Joshua, please give us a quick review on what you read.
Okay, thank you. So um from what I read so far, it has been a very interesting read because I've not really read anything like this before. So it was conversations between people in poetry style. So it was very, instead of just from one person about something, maybe like your emotions, but describing people through poetry. So it was a really good read. So thank you.
Yes, I have. Hi. So interestingly, the fact is, it is, well, not to put myself on the spot, but it is so relatable. It says, "Face me, I face you." So I knew what to look forward to. I knew what to expect. But the way she styled it between three individuals, from Folake to Brother Samson and then to Delilah, it's so, how do you say this now? Like, the perspective is so bright. You can basically see these characters in the daily lives that you live. And yeah, that's an awesome read for me. So yeah, thank you very much.
classes in school, but she's an award-winning writer of lyrical writing. There's satirical writing for poets, though. I don't know if everybody took those classes. There's the epic, the ode. Am I speaking gibberish or are we following? Go literature class, praise the Lord. We are doing by gifts. Sabi wetin they do, praise the Lord. And yourself now. Everybody, we are all claiming gifts in Nigeria. We don't like to read. I'm a scientist, but I will give you literature back to back. Don't play. But actually, it's a good read. I've gone through it. It's a short, interesting read. I wanted Inyolua to give us a review on the illustrations that were inside the book, but I guess he's so busy. So the next book. Now, these books are going to the two best hooks that we had. It's going to the two best hooks that we had. Remember that segment, yeah? So Ini would do justice to that. Can we have Ini Olua, please, to come and launch the whispers of Akebulan?
Hi, hello. Okay, so I'm just going to stand and do this. So where are the books? Madam. Okay, hi. All right. Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. Hi. All right. So I co-authored a book, part of I'm here in like three capacities as co-founder of Our Clan Press, as writer of co-author of this anthology, and as the illustrator of the book. Yes, thank you. It's plenty. Keep clapping. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you. Oh no, oh come on. You didn't have to. Did I say stop? Thank you very much. All right. So Alkalan is a printing press and a book launching company that is focused on the writings of African history and African culture. So they base their writings off these things, and the name itself is gotten from the power of the title Al Kebulan, and that's the ancient Nubian, Kush, Kemetian name for Africa. The old empires within Africa had their language, and they named the land Al Kebulan, which is being translated to be motherland or garden of Eden. Nobody's really sure, but it's born from that. Basically, it means the origin, right? And that is what Africa was called a long time ago. So they resorted to that, and that's where Alkaline is going. And this is their first book, Whispers of Al Kebulan. It's a anthology. An anthology is a group of short stories. We are all readers here. Sorry, I didn't need to that, but so an anthology is a collection of short stories, either in prose, poetry, or comics. However, it is that you have your stories in it's So and even in filming, there's an anthology in cartoon, Love, Death, and Robots. I believe yes, that's an anthology. So like that. So I'm going to be doing a summarization of my part from the book, just telling what I authored as a part of the book is sorry. No, I'm good standing. Thank you. I illustrated a comic, and the story from the book is Stories from the Purple Bowl, the Tales of Ogbomosho. Yes, so I'm going to do a quick summarization of that. I basically tell the story of a young girl. Bemi is her name. Bemi reminisces on the history of Ogbomosho, a land which she lives now. It's a metropolis, a bustling city, a technologically driven and ahead city. It's like nothing you have thought about. It's industry in all its glory. It's beautiful. It's peaceful. That is what Ogbomosho is now. And she remembers in the times after the first Shong, Ogunlola took off the head of Elemosho, a visitor from the stars who was to protect the expanse and the outskirts, the size of the Oyo Empire, and was put there, and he lost by the Alafin, but he lost it. at some point. The Elemosho broke bounds, for some reason, started attacking citizens. And in light of this, Ogunola and other hunters had to go after Elemosho, in which he finally beheaded and took the head home, which why the settlement is now called Ogbori Elemosho, Ogbomosho for short. So she reminisces about this and looks at the old history and remembers when the Shogun was held in high esteem. Whatever happened? She says very pretty here, in an era of prosperity and advancement, as it grew from the settlement to the kingdom until the year 1897, when the White Devils invaded. Goes from a time of beauty and, well, growth, and as much as it's still in its beautiful era and metropolis of amazing things, wonders that is still going, the Shogun, on the other hand, has been reduced from the king that it once was to a vigilante protector, protecting the people of Ogbomoso from the White Devils. And now the city is on council. Then goes into the story of how she said White Devils, and it turns out the White Devils are actual white. Who are treated comic better saying they run, and she runs and hides in a rubble that crumbles above her, and our other friends, everyone else is in domes. Now comes in the special squad, the Shon, the special otherworldly response unit, as it is that they have now become a special response unit to the White Devils that are on ground. After clearing the place and fighting to close the rifts that the White Devils come through, it turns out the Shon himself shows up in a well-guarded suit of a superhero, as you would see it, well directed in the comics, and saves the the group, was able to guide the Shon response units to safety as they complete their mission in closing it. And I would like to read the final response as suspense grows and the council argues over a lot of their policies as they are drugged into finding out that there's something and secrets buried within Ogbomosho, something that is drawing the White Devils to the settlement. As it turns out that the whole world was ravaged by these White Devils, and it is an apocalyptic scene. The entire planet is ravaged. There's only but a few settlements left that are doomed, are protected. A few, as you would have it, protected lands that are left, and Ogbomoso is one of them, as leaders as there. And there is one particular reason why Elemosho, I mean, why Ogbomoso is a center that these White Devils are being drawn to for some reason. And as they go deeper, it turns out that Ogbomoso has a dark past, and Elemosho's head that was severed before is being used to further their scientific uh, growth and their exposure, as it is now a, a hub that is calling out to a severed body that was taken away by Europeans when they came around to Africa, in which they experimented upon and tried to get a serum to better medicine and technology as it is, and it affected them, their body, turning them into the White Devils. That's basically a zombie infestation that has taken over the world. So that's basically the summary of what that particular one story is. If you do get there is online, I think so they should be able to give a link or on the group or however it is they come across it. So Alkeland, the Whispers of Alkeland, basically, as I have summarized, the first story has a collection of books that preach the story of Africans, giving, of course, creative freedom to the writers to picture it however it is they are. An anthology of fantasy and sci-fi science fiction, spreading the African story that you know in your tale of science fiction, however it is that you put the scene of robots, the scene of a post-apocalyptic world, but in the African tone. As we've all noticed, even in Hollywood, whenever there is a trouble that conquers the whole world, it's just the US. Yes, so this is the scene of a sci-fi and science fiction and fantasy concentrated to Africa. Now, we are going to have an enactment of another one of these, another book from this anthology that will be enacted by Praise Media. They are having a show this December 22nd. We have a dancer from them and a reading from one of us that would do a live reading and enactment of that chapter. So I'll be welcoming them on stage in a minute or two. Thank you.
ẹni máa jẹ̀kọ́ sórí tó bá tásìkò ó fakọtọ bọ́ọ̀lù. When you live long enough, you know that time is trivial, only made relevant by monumental events that lays its linear path. Faith comes with gravity. You can never miss it because time passes for faith. And while time passes us by, faith awaits to intercept it. Even animals are fighter. That power that created the locals that was our daily life. And yet, it was that dreadful, yet hopeful pulse, signaling the powerful influx of spiritual energy in the atmosphere. Prayers offered with sails put into the hands of the powers that be at such a time. It was no surprise that maybe the hour of divine mercy, that was just another person with synchronicity. If you live as long as she had, and she had indeed lived a very long time, you start to perceive human activities as algorithms, revealing their deep-rooted love for structure. You notice their obsessions with synchronicity and rhythmic patterns, the significance they attach to actions taken at specific time, and the consequence going to the river at 12 noon, or the potency of a prayer said at 3 o'clock, dawn, 666, 222, and so on. At her age, however, she knew better. She understood faith well enough to know that rhyming times or days did not matter much, and she knew the gods enough to know that it mattered outside astrology. But 3 a.m. was a special time to her until now. That is, she would deal with it many years later. For now, she would get ready to go to the market. It was too early. Considering how slow her body was, she would be heading out at the break of dawn. The moon was down. By the time she pulled her wild shawl over her loosely wrapped head, the scarf was a matching leftover piece from her hero and over outfit. Although now it's shaped browner. The shawl draped across her frail shoulders down, her bed back served its purpose in perfecting the look. The typical one of an aged Alaja who has actually never been on pilgrimage to Mecca. Fashion statements were not afforded to this body, not on the mirror. It was pointless when beauty itself eludes it. She hoisted a basket full of wares over her head, made her way from the market to the horses. Voyages had been long, but nonetheless tailworthy, lonely but eventful. She had traded with Surags and the Bebet. She sold spices in Timbuktu and in Obiso. She witnessed the grandeur of Igodo in the days before it became meaning. Quite frankly, she was tired. It has been said that there is no perfect time, only when faith decides, not anything for faith. To sell their conscience for wealth, not money. They always came with catchphrases and fell for the beautiful facade. She put up to entice her victims or cower at the intimidation of her energy. But she had never met one who saw her in a true form. She wanted to reply like she normally did. That she, the goddess of wealth, wanted to instill fear with her presence. Instead, her breath caught in her trust. You can see me.
Beautiful performance. Thank you. So these two copies are going to Abdul Fattah required. Please, can you step forward, please? And the second best book, she didn't write. I don't know if it's a he or a she, so I don't know. The person that wrote about Jesus, I'll have to look for this person now. I told people to write their names for God's sake. Okay, so I think it's only required. Please, in come and help us hand this. Thank you so much.
Oh,
Say cheese. All right. So briefly, before Cindy comes to okay. So briefly before we call up Cindy Burke to speak to launch her work. Can we have Kenny? We have a singer, a beautiful singer in our midst. So, at least for 5 minutes, let's get serenaded. Let's clap for Kenny, please. And you can get a copy of Whispers of Akibulan at IG. You can order on IG. Akilan Press on IG. The link to order is in the bio. Thank you.
Nobody else, no one else apart from you. Yes, it's you. I just wanna be with you. Yes, it's you. I just wanna be with you. you for the things you do. Follow you. Oh, it's true, baby, it's true. I'm drowning now in this river. I need to lift my head up and I hope that it was worth it, 'cause I feel you in my soul. I want to drown in your river now. I want to be lost completely. Want to be immersed in your river. Oh, yeah. I got so confident over the past few years. The past few months has been lonely without you, man. I needed a smile, needed a kiss, and I don't know how to get it now. I'm so caught up right now, don't know what to do apart from writing a song. I wanna tell you that I can't feel like this. No, I can't continue like this. No, I just can't feel like this. No, I can't continue like this. Oh, no, yeah. I'm drowning now in this river. I need to lift my head up and I hope that it was worth it, 'cause I feel you in my soul. And I want to drown in your river now. I want to feel love completely. Want to be immersed in your river. Oh, river, river now. Oh, river, yeah, in your river. Thank you.
Pause. No, no singing. All right. So shortly we have Marty Alston to Marty, are you with us, please?
Yes, I'm here.
Awesome. Thank you. Please can we give a round of applause to Marty? You look sorry. So Marty has two of his works that he would love to share with us. And Marty, over to you, please.
Good morning, everyone. I want to say good morning to everyone, and I'm glad to have this opportunity to share. So please bear with me because I just got off work at 6 o'clock and I'm just getting home trying to get settled and everything. So I am tired, but I'm glad to just be amongst you fellow authors and just to be able to share on the other side of the country. I am very fortunate and blessed to have this opportunity. But I want to share my first book, I Am a Man, When It Isn't Your Fault, Rise, Recover, and Live, sharing my story of narcissism abuse, of what I've endured 15 years ago with the young lady that I dated from my church, not knowing of the disorder, never heard about it until 2.5 years ago. And I decided to write my pain in a book. So I've suffered a lot of trauma and pain. And a lot of times I wrote this book mainly for men who have been through um, this type of disorder. It's open to everyone, but the focus is for men. I don't know. I know all the time you hear women that have been hurt by men and they spin the narrative and you never really know the real truth about what happened. And men, we often just shunned off, and no one seems to care about our feelings and not even ask uh, how you were affected, how we were affected by the relationship, or even really care to ask. It's always, the women gets all of the support, if you will, and the protection and everything. So I wrote this for men who have been wounded and hurt, and to let them know that you have value, you have purpose, you can rise from this. There are people that have been through this, and you have a lot of support that you actually know, and that you can get through this, and to also recognize the red flags early in relationships, the behaviors of gaslighting, being manipulated, being um, uh, really controlled mentally, and changing your narrative of thinking and having you thinking, that you're crazy, because I was told that I was crazy. Because if you're not aware of this, it'll mess you up. It'll mess your life up. People have committed suicide behind this, because of being told that they're crazy and being caught up. When you're caught up and trauma bonded, it has an effect on you. And so I really hope that who's ever hearing me, will take the time to read my book, my first book, I Am a Man When It Isn't Your Fault, Rise, Recover, and Live. It's on Amazon. I do have a YouTube channel to where I testified about it in church. Take accountability, for one, and acknowledging you're wrong, and repenting to God for the actions that you've caused, because you're leading people and you have people's blood on your hands. Understand, you have a lot of pastors who have and are scattering the people, scattering the flock, and there's blood on their hands. So you have to take accountability for what you do wrong. Being a leader is a very serious and sacred gift and anointing to have, because it takes an anointing to lead people. It takes an anointing for people to have trust in you as well. And often today we just hear the begging prosperity pastors. All they want is your money. They don't care about you as an individual. They just want your money. And I believe, you have to be for the soul. You have to love people. And this book is for people who have been caught up in sexual scandals, leading people, taking an accountability, asking for forgiveness to the church, your family, people that are involved or have been affected by the hurt that you have caused. So that is my second book. And I'm glad to say, I don't know if you can hear me, but Peter has done both of my book reviews on both book on YouTube, and I thank you for that. And so, if you want to know about me, you can talk to Peter because he knows me. We've talked a lot, and I'm on YouTube, as I stated before. And I'm on Facebook. So if you want to reach out, I'm not hard to find. I hope to hear from you, and I hope you do check out my books, male and female. Because again, going back to the first part of what I just said, narcissism abuse is a very serious disorder on both sexes. It's not a male thing. It's not a female thing. It is a dangerous disorder in both sexes. And you really need to be aware of your surroundings and how to handle people. It'll teach you how to handle people, what to be aware of, the red flags. and to be watchful of that. But I'm going to end with that. I think I've said enough for right now because I don't want to give too much. If you want to check me out, you know what to do. I'm not hard to find. God bless everyone. Thank you. All of my brothers and sisters in Africa. I'm in Las Vegas, Nevada, in America. The Sin City, they call it, the gambling town.
Have any comment for Marty? Any comments? Any questions? None? Yes. Do you have any comments for him? You can tell Marty directly.
Marty, how are you doing? Good day.
Good morning.
Yeah, okay, it's afternoon here. Morning, yes. I love your book, and I'm talking with Peter right now on how to get it. I would like to read it, and also probably get back to you on it. Because your story is interesting, I want to listen to it. There's a book I'm working on, and I want to get some of your stories and add to it. If I can get some of your story and I'll put, the book is called The School of a Wife. So I would like to pick something from you and add to it. Thank you.
Yes, would love to.
Does anybody have any other comments for Marty? All right, in the absence of none, a round of applause to Marty. Thank you so much, Marty, for coming along. We look forward to having your books and to cheering you on to the entire journey. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right, before we have Cindy, can we have pause, please?
Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Can we have a round of applause, please, just to get the energy back in the room? We are about to have the open mic session. Now, my name, you can make some more noise. You can make some more noise. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So, my name is Amid Eti Balogun, and I am the poet on fire. Now, I am a representative today of the Poetry and Literary Society pals, and we are your pals when it comes to poetry, when it comes to spoken word, when it comes to literacy in general. And we have been given the honor by Akure Book Club to do a sample of our open mic session. So we have like 5 or 6 people here registered to perform, and without further ado, we are about to commence. Now, we have some rules. 2 rules for the people performing and 1 rule for the audience. So the 2 rules for the people performing are very simple. We do not use profanity. We don't use swear words or cuss words in any of our performances during our open mic. So everybody that's performing, please do note that. Also, we also like to end on a theme of hope. So you can do something dark. We're not restricting your creative freedom, but we like to end on a theme of hope and a theme of improvement instead of just letting everybody's vibe go down. We're not trying to kill vibes here. So those are the 2 rules for the performers. For the audience, you have 1 rule, and that is please do not scream or clap while the people are performing. Can everybody do this for a second? Can everybody click? Poets love that sound. That's the sound of comfort. That's the sound of help. That's not an aggressive sound, and it won't distract the people while they're performing. So if you resonate with anything that anybody's saying, you can say, everybody say, click your fingers. That's the space we're in. We listen, we don't judge. Okay. Okay, so without further ado, there'll be a brief intermission between, but for the first person performing. Each performer, also note you have about 3 minutes to perform. We're on a tight schedule. So the first person performing, without further ado, is Olu Yemi Jr. Please, a round of applause for him. So you can reserve your applause to the end of the performance, but while he's performing, clicking ums and ahs.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah. This is from a blog of mine. From I wrote this 2 years ago. It's titled "Force Victory." You know it's true. Money is power. There's some truth in the saying, "He who has the gold makes the rules." The world is full of people who use power of money to gain advantage, and there have been some misconceptions about money being bad. You believe that's not true. You see money as as a neutral medium used for good or evil. But there are three arms to power. Money is not the ultimate. According to a Japanese legend, there are three arms of power: the power of the sword, the jewelry, and the mirror. The sword symbolizes the power of a weapon. You've probably read about great nations in history books on how they invested in their military over other nations. The exact reasons countries spend an uncountable amounts of money to establish strong military presence. This kind of power is not your forte. You find it very difficult to even dip your fingers in water in the morning to cook because you catch cold easily. You can never survive a civil war or any other form of war. You have zero tolerance for violence. It is one of the reasons you avoid listening and watching news. They are all full of bad news. You are subscribed to well-curated newsletters instead of news. You are on guard on and very thorough with information you feed your mind, including social media. Since the power of jury and sword won't do it, you signed up for self-knowledge, the power of a mirror. You've always been brilliant. People see you as a very talented painter. But to you, there is more than meets the eye. You've been drawing since you were 8 years old. You are basically a prodigy. To you, that like Albert Einstein said, you have no special talents. You are only passionately curious. Knowledge gained from reading and studying out instinct. A good artist paints what they see, but great ones paint what they. And you want to be great. That's why you read a lot of books. Due to some not so famous starving artist syndrome, people often advise you not to waste your genius on professions with no future. Instead, channel it into something tangible like engineering and medicine. That pays better. You didn't fall for it because you know the word it was the word wants. Oh, okay. Sorry. You didn't fall for it because you know that's what the word wants. It's a witch with a trick, a monkey's paw. It said there's a quote that says, beware of what you wish. It grants you your wish, but take away your most valuable possession. It is a false victory. Yes, I've passed, and spoiler alert, people still tease you for being broke. You have lost a lot of friends because they thought your standards and status were below theirs. They reply to you when you reach out, but the problem is you are always the one to initiate the conversation. It's not mutual. You feel like a spear removed from a furnace pierces your soul. You've always missed people that you shouldn't be missing. It's true what was said by Gnash in the song I Hate You, I Love You. Friends can break your heart too. You got to burn some bridges to create some distance. At last, you are proud of yourself. Few years have passed. Even though you are not where you want to be, you've got skills people want to bet their millions on. They want to collaborate with you and consult you. For you, this is not the beginning, but this is the end of the beginning. That is what powers of self-knowledge gets to. Money can buy sword. Money is power. But what moves money these days is authority. And authority can be moved with self-knowledge. That's all.
Can we do better than that, please? It's not easy to step up to the stage when the mic is open and perform. Thank you so much, Oluyemi Jr. Now, what will be happening is we'll have one more performer from Pulse, then another performance will be taking place that's not part of the open mic. And then after that, we'll continue with the flow of the open mic. Does everybody understand? Does everybody understand? Thank you. So, for the next person, also, I just want to know for those performing, please, for those performing, if you are reading from your phone, try and look up, okay? If you take a glance, then look back up and continue to perform what you're performing. Thank you very much. So, the next person to be performing for us is Royalty. Her Royal Highness Crown Quility. Can we have a round of applause, please?
Good evening, everyone. Okay, so November is Men's Health Awareness Month. So this month is dedicated for all the people. And it's titled Boys to the Cry. Manning up started for Akure when he first tripped on his father's farm, gushing out of his left arm. He rushed to his father, but his father said, "Wipe your tears, Akure ladder. A boy doesn't cry, he conceals his pain. A boy was his mother and brave. Only that will make his life fair. Boys are taught to be men before they even know how. They are told to man up and to never break down. Tell me, why does a boy have to learn to be a man through agony, struggles, and being hard? When will he be listened to without being questioned? He needs to be heard. When will he stop running into the rain to compete with the cloud? No, no. Boys know they cry. Man doesn't cry. But Okechi saw Uche cry. She didn't bother to ask him the reason why. She called him a broadcast for not being able to pay her bills, which she could right. Boys, the fear, streets, the snare, seeing a man cry is rare. It's not normal, but not big feat for the opposite. Working hard to him is vital. Playing him, mocking him is difficult. Have you seen Daniel? The 18-year-old autistic boy, an apprentice to the fogger. He could barely handle the tire jack, and everyone calls him a loafer. Harping. The society tax him. Imbecile. Daniel Lauren. Oh, I forgot to tell you about my childhood friend, Dan Ladi. He started fending for his family at the 12 when he lost his dad. Now, me, Gianna, Bukata, there's a man. So take my pain away. So take this thing. Now, every day I do this. And my neighbor will joke. And he always blast them loud for his speaker. And even though the beat is always heavy, but trust me, with each passing day, his voice grows even weaker, and the baggage of his soul becomes heavier. The true boy, they say, is one with dirt on his face, looking all shabby. Shovel called to him comes and energy, Moses from laboring all over his body. One who knows how best to handle a digger and shoulder his body. When he lost, he becomes a sin. When he submits to call him away, when he falls, he dare not limp. He must be strong and not be a creep. Because boys know they cry. Boys know they cry. In the tag where society don't hang for their neck like tie. Boys know they cry. You are a man, you can't cry. That's the rule they are given. But inside they are breaking. Inside they are living. So tell me, who wants to speak for the broken boys? Is it you? Is it me? Who wants to speak for boys like Hakim, Daniel, Danladi, and Ojo who stares along the way? Who wants to lend them a shoulder to tell them it's okay to not be okay? Now money no their lives today. But who is checking up on that boy who can't even find his way? You should check up the way men's suicide rate is competing with dollars rate. And the society watch and wait till it escalates. How pathetic. They are humans. They are men, yes, but they are humans. and they have the right to feel too. They have the right to be heard. They have the right to be seen before they fade into spaces unseen. Thank you.
Oh my days. Keep it going, keep it going, keep it going, keep it going, keep it going. Okay. That was sensational. And on behalf of all men and boys during November, thank you so much, Crown Quality. That was amazing. Boys in the house, can we just make some noise? Because it's rare. It's rare for people to highlight the struggles of the male gender. We're supposed to be strong. We're supposed to be, impenetrable, no emotion, right? But we do feel emotion like everybody else, but we're expected not to show it. So thank you very much. We will be having one last performer before another act takes over. And then after that brief intermission, Pal's Poetry will continue with the open mic session. So, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage Shaba. I like that name, Shaba.
Thank you very much. I'm not a poet, but I'm going to be sharing a piece of myself today. So, I'm basically a rapper. That's what I do. But I'm trying something different. I'm trying something different today. So, basically, I've told myself over time that I just have to make it or make it. Those are the two options. And either I do it or I die trying. But then I see myself as having 9 lives. So no matter how many times I die, I just keep going. So that's basically what this piece revolves around. Okay. All right. So before the soundtrack comes on, I'm going to days. Basically, it was a conversation between me and the man in the mirror. I'm gonna let you know what I said to him. I said, "You're talking about money, fame, and power. Look at me when I'm speaking to you, you coward. For all of the times that you made me feel powerless, I would kill you, but you know that you wouldn't die. I would. I'm back from the dead and I am back with the living. I will rise from the flames and the ashes of Phoenix, a lyrical monster. So you know I will kill it. I will rip out the heart and then devour the spirit. A gangster homie with a gangster attitude. The magnitude I'm bringing to the game, it can be rivaled to. Invisible, I have got no longitude or latitude. Invincible, like an abandoned school, I have no principles. Ridicule, wait, the hate I get from this homies is typical, cynical. Sick flows have me clinical, lyrical. If you mess with me, I might get physical. Been reading so many verses, my verses are starting to sound biblical. Underrated, but now I'm breaking records. Little efforts, but I be causing seismic tremors. 60 seconds is all it takes to kill a session. Pure precision, surpassing all of my predecessors. Repercussions, I'm about to hit hard. I will deliver a fatal blow. I'll grow a mustache because there's no Nazi without Hitler. No, I could break into song, but you know this is not a Disney show. I've been holding it in frozen, but now I'm about to let it go. I hit the floor like a frag grenade. I break the walls and I am bursting through the barricade. I break the rules and so they call me a renegade. But now your eyes are on me. Eyes to the skies, I levitate. They try to forget about me, but I am unforgettable. I set my mind to something. I am like a charging bull. You know, I do this thing stellar and on a regular. If fame is for a moment, then my legacy will live forever. Undivided proclivity, sanity in proximity, saying it for the hell of it. You are your greatest enemy, based upon my futurity. Watch them try in futility as they try to get rid of me. It only brought out the best in me. Lone Ranger, I don't need you to subventionize. It's been a while I hit the mic, but I'll murder it every time. What if I'm Epicurean? You all know that I'm not plebeian. I'm alien, mind of a genius trapped inside my cranium, a brainiac. That's the high life. Because my life's a movie and this is the highlights. I was dying, but then the music was a lifeline. And I did enough searching for a lifetime. That's right. So I look at the limelights and I promise not to be blinded by the bright lights. See, I see the beauty come alive in the nighttime. And I know one day I'll make it or I'll die trying because I have 9 lives. Keep it going, 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 keep it going. Now stand up, hope, feel it, feel it, feel it, feel it. Sensational. Wow, 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 wow. Wow, thank you for that round of applause. It was definitely needed. That was Shaba, and that was amazing. So we'll be taking a brief break. I will be handing it over to the lovely Victory to continue with the event, and then we'll come back with a few more performances. Thank you so much.
I want to aspire to my have to cut pauses. We want Cindy to launch her work so that you know we have different time zones and she might need to rest at some point. So Cindy, over to you, baby.
Hi, how is everybody doing? This is a hard act to definitely follow with everybody sharing their heart, sharing their soul, especially when it comes to the scripture that you guys are sharing, and especially when it comes to your messages and the content of your artistry and your poetry and the books that you guys share. Strong messages. And I think that's what's most important about our world today is that we are sharing messages. Anyhow, just a little bit more about me. Can you guys hear me okay? Can you hear me okay? Okay, just wanted to make sure. I think what's really important about messages is that they resonate with the heart and the soul of the person. And just so you guys know, Peter, I work with Peter. He's actually my boss. So I work with him on it. But he actually has taken the time to read my book series and endorse it. I write fiction. I write young adult fantasy romance. It's called the Theorens series. I refer to myself as a legend sleuth. So I'm a detective, a cop, and I like to go on the hunt for mysteries and stuff, legends, myths, and lies. And I like to take those stories and craft them to make something unique and original about them. And I've even taken stories from Nubia and characters from different worlds, different countries, and tried to craft those stories into my 3 main book series. Hi, Peter. Okay, so anyhow, I guess things okay? I'm not sure if you guys can hear me. Peter, give me the thumbs up if you can hear me. Can you hear me? Can you hear me, Peter? Anyhow, like I said, my name is Cindy Breck. I can't hear you.
I can hear you.
Oh, you can hear me? Okay, well, that's great. So I hope you guys heard my opening because I think it's really on before and definitely shared their heart and their soul and their raw talent to share with everybody. Because I think there's the message that has to be shared for all of us, whether it's in scripture, whether it's in our art, our rapping, or anything, or our stories. Anyhow, like I told you before, my name is Cindy Breck. I love to write fantasy and stuff like that. And I like to take stories and I like to hunt down legends, myths, and lies from all over the world and put it into my story world. I just launched the 3 prequels in the Theron series. My main novel, The Theron's Secrets Beneath Scars, launches in February, but my prequels are out. There's 3 prequels to that. All my books are available on ebooks, on Amazon, and will soon be available on Barnes & Noble. Before publication, I staked several endorsements from notable authors and influencers, and I'm very humbled by their encouragement and their endorsement. I wanted to share a little bit more. I started writing during my downtime while caring for my kids and my husband. My family's always been extremely important to me. I've always had a fascination with words. I love working with words because I don't know, I like weaving tales that transcend the boundaries of reality. It was a challenge for me though, because I had dyslexia, but it helped me fight to work with my disability to learn and to dream more and to become more. I want to
Hello,
encourage.
Cindy.
Yeah.
Can you hear us?
Can I what?
Can you hear?
Yeah, now I can
Yeah,
hear, but
please,
before I
there's a
couldn't hear.
break. There's a break in network connection. I want you to start from the beginning again.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
No, that's okay. Hopefully they don't mind listening to me again.
Yeah, no problem.
Are you sure about that?
Yeah, I'm sure.
Hey, does this mean we get to talk more than just normal? I love chatting. You know that, Peter. Come on, you got to get that. That's true. You know it. We talk for hours after our videos.
Yeah,
So
so just have to start from the beginning again. Sorry.
no problem. Okay.
Yeah, thank
Okay.
you.
So I want to say I thank everybody for previously making their comments because I think that was really important to hear what everybody else was saying because I think we all have a message, all have something important to share, whether we're rappers or we're sculpturists or authors. Even in a story, in a book, things resonate. A message has to resonate in order to be powerful. And what I heard before was very raw, was very emotional. And I appreciated everybody sharing it. I would like to say thank you for having me today. I would also like to tell you my name is Cindy. I write fiction, young adult fantasy. I'm the author of the Theron series. I refer to myself as a legend sleuth. I'm a detective on the hunt, looking for the best legend, myth, or lie to twist and to craft into my story world. I have 6 books. I just launched the 3 prequels, November, December, and January. And in February, The Theron's Secrets Beneath Scars, my main book in my series, will launch, which is February 18th. All my books are available on ebooks, on Amazon, and will be eventually on Barnes & Noble. I actually have to tell everybody before I get going any further that Peter is actually my boss. So I do co-podcast with him once in a while, and I absolutely love it. He is energetic, he's got heart and soul, and we love to chat. Anyhow, especially about book banter. I also would like to share that I have snagged several endorsements from Peter was one of them, and then from several other influencers, but from Jonas Saul and so forth. But I am greatly humbled and encouraged by their endorsements. It means a lot to me that they would be there to support me. Anyhow, a little bit about myself. I never saw myself as a author as much as a storyteller. I started writing during my downtime when I was not taking care of my family members or my husband and my kids. My efforts have always been family first. My focus has always been on God and family first. I have a now now I have the opportunity to mentor to young youths. I have been also speaking on time management strategies for other authors so that they can manage their minutes, so that they can aim and inspire fellow authors to live their dreams, because I think it's very important for us to live our dreams. Like I said, I'm an avid reader that turned a writer with a background in recreational therapy. My journey became a reality with a combination of passion, determination, and a relentlessness from, believe it or not, my character Callie. More so because Callie stalked my thoughts and I had to write down the scenes on a notepad or the back of a receipt from a store. Or when I was sleeping at night, I wrote down. But eventually, I upgraded to a computer, and that's technology's not my friend. But anyhow, I did that. But that spark, my stories came from reimagining my hometown where I live in Ohio to envision a world where local legends came alive and buried secrets of lost civilizations waited to be uncovered. I've completed, like I said, the three prequels and the three stories, main novels, and they're all interconnected through legends and myths. At its heart, my work explores the raw struggles of facing darkness, embracing resilience and triumph, and discovering the light, even in the deepest shadows. If you are interested in a little bit more, my tropes, I deal with forbidden love, forgotten prophecies, myths, legends, and secrets, lost societies. If you think of the island of the title The Therans, you'll look at the island of Santorini or Thera, which is where they claim Atlantis was. I also deal with the chosen one and so forth. If I were to give a pitch about my story, my world, it would probably sound something like this. The pitch to describe this is the Therans series is a tension building, fight for survival, high stakes fantasy set against the mysterious backdrop of Ohio in town, a slow burn modern day clean romance with an introvert yet loyal coming of age female. My stories mix and clash secret societies, dark secrets, and a dash of forbidden romance, intrigue, where archaic rules meet supernatural powers. I just really hope that you guys will take the time to look at Amazon to consider if my book series might be of interest to you. Because if you like anything to do with mythology, legends, or anything like that, this series might be of interest to you. Also, I write with the idea of intrigue. So if my tagline is secrets stab deeper than a blade, there's so much around secrets of a society today, whether it's hidden society or not. I appreciate the opportunity to be here, and I thank you for coming into my writing sanctuary. If you have any questions, please do not hesitate to reach out to me or even Peter, but you could find me on my website, which is www.cindy.com. Thank you very much. If there's any questions, just let me know. I can't hear anybody. I can't hear anybody.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. I couldn't earlier. I hope you guys were able to hear me. I can't hear you now, unless you're real close to the speaker or something.
Hi, can you hear me?
I could hear you a little bit, yes. Thank you.
Yeah. I've got a question for you. What advice would you give anyone Like you starting off writing fiction?
For what advice would I give anybody starting off to be an author?
No, writing fiction.
Writing fiction. I would say, for me personally, if you could visualize your story unfolding in your head and you could write it down so that it feels natural. So when you read it back to yourself, it feels good. I think that's one of the best approaches. But I would also say never to give up. You have to believe in yourself. You have to fuel your own story, and you have to fuel your own determination in order to succeed. There's so many people that will tell you, no, you can't do it. There's so many people that tell you, no, that's not reality. It doesn't put bread on the table. I'm for it. I also comprehension issues throughout all of school. You have to fight for yourself in your desire, and your passion has to fuel that desire.
Thank you. Connection. Any comments? Who? Cindy, what are the titles of your books?
6 books. I have Scarred Legends, Scarred Secrets, Scarred Lies. Those are all prequels, and they could be 40 to 70 pages long, but they set the stage for the 3 main books, which are about 400,000 words total between all 3 of the books. Yes, I saw that gentleman with the sunglasses. Yes, 400,000 words. Yes. Anyhow, the Thierons, the Secrets Beneath Scars, the Thierons, Legends Never Die, and the Thierons, Utopia's Dark Side. So, and I have to say, what's intriguing, and Peter and I've talked about a lot of this stuff, is that, like I said, my books deal with legends and stuff like that, but I've taken legends from all over the world, different cultures and everything, and I've tried to combine them in my book series. So it's not just what would happen in America, but what might be in Italy, Egypt, Atlantis. I have tried to incorporate worlds within my book series. And I have 2 different worlds buildings structures within 3 books within my series, which is very different than most books.
So much, Cindy. Do you have copies you can show us at the moment? Cover pages.
I just have I don't have my printed copy yet, no. But I do have them on Amazon, and I already sent pictures to you and stuff. So 4 of my 6 books are out right now on pre-order. And 1 was actually just released November 17th of last month. So you can get that. But I will have December, let me see, February 18th, I will have the first paperback out. But right now it's on free. Yes.
Thank you so much, Cindy. We look forward to your work. A round of applause to Cindy, please. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. I am particularly interested in this one. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So everyone, you see that I've changed my outfit. Sorry, Cindy. Can you
can't
hear me
hear you.
now?
Now I can, but I couldn't earlier.
All right. So sorry. It's kind of Nigeria thing, though. They love to disgrace us. Sorry.
That's okay. Hey, I'm easy. I'm flexible on all those issues.
Anyways, thing that you've done. Thank you to Child Promotions Publishing. Thank you so much. So we'll have pals and I'm sorry, the GIG outside. So if you don't mind, someone would bring your food to you. Can we like step outside for the last phase of the event? And most people are even outside.
Are you fix it? Bella? Sorry. Hi. Right. Okay, she can hear us now.
Hi, yes. So we
Cindy?
kind of have a theater play, and we do not know how we can bring you guys along.
You what?
It's a theater play.
It's in the gardens outside.
That's fine. That's fine.
Would you like to say it?
Victoria, I just appreciate being a part of this group right now. So if I can't come to the garden, that's okay. But tell Peter to take pictures and send them to me.
All right. Same to Kwadu. I don't know.
It's fine. It's fine. It's good. It's all good.
All right. All right. So we're going to break the last session now. We love you guys so much. Thank you so much for being a part of this.
Thank you.
Thank
All
you.
right.
Mwah.
Thank you.
Take care. It was nice to keep in touch. Keep in touch.
I'm coming. Please, let's end that stuff. Please.